Hey everyone! Gigantic update today for EHang. So much news, questions, concerns and development again, where I don't know where to start. We will just dive in. But first of all, welcome to High School Dropouts Advice. If you need subtitles, click on the subtitle button right here. Through Patreon, you can get into our Discord community where you can get directly in touch with me and other subscribers. Please have a look at the last 5 trading days of EHang. We could regain around 20% in gains. Everyone who bought the dip, big congrats. The stock is trading for $29.13 per stock with a market cap of close to 1.6 billion. Let us start with the big news first. It's finally official. The Hejiao project is approved. The total investment will be 905 million RMB, which equals 139.5 million. This is the map of the construction site. I'm not sure where EHang will be built, but let me show you how big the plant will be compared to the Yunfu manufacturer. You see that the area of the Yunfu manufacturer is only 24,000 square meters. The Hejiao plant will be 218,000 square meters, which is 9 times as much. I think we can assume that the production of this plant will be able to handle 6,000 passenger drones per year. The plant could be finished in 2 years. So this is big news of EHang. No wonder that the stock has regained some momentum. Maybe some investors were collecting while it dips. So this is great news that we will have some development here. Hejiao will play an important role for EHang because it's not just the plant they are building, but also the test routes, the showrooms, the heliports, and making the city the first aerial urban transportation city in the world. Hejiao is investing heavily into EHang. Besides this, EHang has exhibitions in other cities. This was on April 25th in Fuzhou City. We also see that there is a new model in development. This does not look like the VT30 because this looks like a one-seater. The VT30 should be a 4-seater. The wings cannot be seen here, but this looks very aerodynamic. I can imagine that this is a sports model and will likely have an M version for manual flying. At this point, it's impossible to determine which model this will be. Another very big milestone is this one here. Let me show you the results first. We see on top EHang with an ARI rating of 7.9, the same rating as Joby. We have Beta Technologies, which I had briefly introduced, Archer, Viz, Hyundai, Volocopter. A little further at the bottom we see Airbus and Lilium and some other minor players. Also pay attention to the AIS. You can see that EHang is ahead of the competition. Let me show you what this list is about and what the ARI is all about. The ARI is a rating tool based on a proprietary formula that uses publicly available information as well as expert knowledge. It helps assess the industry entrance progress towards the delivery of a certified product at mass scale production. How is the ARI calculated? The ARI is based on 5 elements: the funding received by the company, the team that leads the company, the technology readiness of the vehicle, the certification process of the vehicle, and the production readiness towards full-scale manufacturing. In other words, this list and rating show that EHang is ahead of their competition. This is only the passenger taxi, but we know that EHang is way more than this. I want you to have a look at this video clip which describes their drones for food delivery.
The only company that I really thought was a player that is doing this now is a company called EHang. If I pronounce this right, EHang. This is basically China's first flagship store with drone delivery service in an urban area. So, and we've got some really cool video on this of how this actually happens. And you can kind of see here the guy loading the unit. You've got him also scanning, being able to lock it in with binding the delivery drone to the actual order. It has a tracking system that moves into real-time tracking. So much like you've seen with your own Uber or Postmates driver, you've probably already seen all that kind of cool stuff. Well, this is something that you'd see from an aerial, standpoint. And what I thought was fascinating was their back-end monitoring. I mean, this literally looks like a capsule for a drone, an AUV pilot who's out there in the back end flying or potentially doing interventions on hundreds, if not thousands, of unmanned drones out there doing food delivery, especially in cities, if you look at China, Beijing or Shanghai, which are going to have density there. And I do think this company has actually got things happening. So this one might be interesting, especially their technology and how they're ramping up. We could see maybe other companies that obviously here in the US kind of go in that direction and really focus in on just that. Obviously, Amazon is focusing on all kinds of things for delivery. Food just might be one of them. And all the lightweight packaging, which is, the 5 pound or under kind of scenario. So I really like that company and what they're doing. And I thought their videos were fantastic because they actually showed the product in function and how it was being used.
If you want to see the whole video, you can find it under Paul Barron Network, and I will link it up here and in the description below. Fundamentally, EHang is getting stronger and stronger. However, I hope the stock is not rebounding too quickly since I want to continue building my position. I had a question regarding EHang, which I think could interest more EHang investors. We have Davian thinking that the receivables they have received are too much compared to their revenue. He is concerned that it can be some kind of sugarcoating. Let me show you what he meant by that. You see that the receivables in 2019 were about 39 million RMB, but that increased to 150.9 million RMB in 2020. This is nearly 4 times as much. This has spooked out many investors. The amount is equal to 23 million US dollar, which is important revenue for EHang. Let me tell you what I think. I think that it's not easy for EHang to sell the passenger drones for cash. A passenger drone costs $200,000, and I don't think small companies or even bigger companies have this amount of cash they use to buy it outright from EHang. They would look for a financing option and would prefer to finance it with EHang or a bank. I don't think that banks are financing passenger drones yet, but I think they will when they get certified with the CAAC. So in my opinion, it's not easy for EHang to sell them in cash. So they have to sell it as a financing product. This is something we need to keep an eye on for the next earning release. I don't think EHang will sugarcoat their earning releases, especially after the Wolfpack accusation. I have read on a couple of Twitter comments that EHang got audited and some observers made sure that their books look right. This is why the Q4 earning release was published in mid-April, when it should get published sometime in March. This is completely hearsay at the moment, but I think there's some truth in it. Let me show you 3 video clips of the CEO because there is not much footage about him. There was one when he was in Austria, but I noticed how anxious he felt. That was pretty much the only footage about him in the last couple of years. Have a look at this clip.
我是很小就开始创业，就是相当于还没满20岁就完完全全真正当老板了。
老胡是一个很拒绝上镜，在电视上做演讲或者跟人交流的人，对他来说，那真不是乐趣。他觉得时间太宝贵了，干嘛浪费在这个上面？
这个我不喜欢来那个这种特别有光环的东西，它总是让人去诟病。你爬得越高，好像别人对你的质疑就越深，然后对你的这种不满情绪就越重。 我只能做成功的事情，我不能做失败的事情。我只要哪怕有一件事情做得不好，我10件事情做得成功，有一件事情做得失败了，好像就全部都是失败。
他不希望大家，甚至他希望公众都不要认识他，因为你给他定的标签越多，对他的期待越高，也许某一天失望会越大，也许某一次他犯错了，就像他在过程当中测试的那些无人机一样，会摔下来，也许还会摔得很狠。你最愿意做的事情是什么？
跟大家一起工作，跟大家一起搞科技研究，搞这些东西是我最喜欢的。只要有飞机飞就好了，有飞机陪我，有工程师们和我的团队陪我，就够了。这是我最大的乐趣。
你像老胡，他10几岁的时候就有这种飞天梦，从那个时候没法实现的一个小男孩，他没法实现靠什么呢？就靠一些小飞机、小模型，对吧？然后再到现在自己做这样的一个公司，来想让每个人都实现飞行的梦想。就你说把他的工作跟生活分得开吗？根本就分不开。他的工作就是生活，就是飞。
而且我更怕的是什么呢？更怕是更多人认识我，就是认识我的人越多，压力越大。
我觉得一个好的媒体人，经得起推敲吧，经得起测试，就跟今天我在记录老胡这48小时的感受一样。在我今天跟胡华志，包括昨天48小时的共处当中，我觉得他是一种感觉，怎么说呢？他们在拍片哈，老胡在这儿。你藏在这儿呢，你这儿藏在这儿，就感觉就像个工程师啊。
我就是个工程师，
就太不像个 CEO 了，就是找半天找不到人。
本来就是个工程师。
哎呀，你好，老胡，在这儿见了。你干嘛呢？
我在调我们的那个仿真系统。哦。然后那个就是做测试前的仿真。
啊，你好，您就是。
In these 3 clips, you see more about the CEO Hu Huaji, who seems to be very focused on his work, but he does not consider himself a business person or a CEO, but an engineer. We see his humble nature. We see that flying is a real passion of his. The interview goes much longer, and we hear from him that he wants to make the safest passenger drone possible. The passenger drone was done in 2016 and had many tests with him alone before the media know about it. He lost 2 close friends in flying accidents, which was not related to Yiheng. This is why he wants to make the drone safe as possible. In the interview, he also talked about how he has several backups for technical failures so that the drone can land safely. If you watch the clips about the CEO, you might understand why his business outlook for 2021 didn't reflect any growth. I think he is very careful in what he says. He just wants to keep himself out of the limelight. We investors need to understand the way of how a CEO talks. By the action and recent development, his business outlook is a pure under-promise. Yiheng will outperform the outlook. Anyways, for legal reasons, let me tell you that I'm not a financial advisor, CPA or realtor, so always consult with an expert before making a decision. Remember that your money is your responsibility and always do your own due diligence. Thank you so much and see you hopefully in the next video. Thank you, bye!